Hey folks, Tito, Jeff Thitoff here with your Browns Daily Blitz. Thanks so much for tuning in. Lots to talk about today as legal tampering got underway for the NFL. And, it's interesting when you look at some of I've seen other teams in the division, the Steelers made a couple of big moves today. But the Browns, they really did a lot of their heavy lifting kind of before today. Zion Johnson, great signing by them. He's the 26-year-old offensive lineman who guard who signed for 3 years, $49.5 million. And that happened, that happened before today. Also, the Browns traded for Tytus Howard from the Houston Texans, another offensive lineman. That's what the Browns have to do. They have to upgrade that offensive line significantly. Not as concerned on the defense, obviously. See Garrett, Miles. But on the offensive line, though, that is going to pay such huge dividends. Look, I don't know who's going to be under center week one. I don't think anybody does. It could be Shedeur. Honestly, hell, it could be Deshaun, right? It could be Deshaun. I'm curious as Browns fans, if Deshaun Watson gave the Browns a better chance to win, would you want him as your starting quarterback? He's, obviously he's got a very, very checkered past, and he has cost the Browns. He has been an elephant on their backs since they made the big deal for him. It's not his fault that the Browns paid him all that guarantee money. It's not his fault the Browns gave up all those picks to get him. That's not Deshaun Watson's fault. Nonetheless, you can question what kind of human being he is based on some of the things that he did. And so that's always a curious thing for me. I wonder as fans, would you rather, if I told you could be 8-9 with Deshaun Watson, or 5-12 with Shedeur, or 7-10 with Shedeur, what would you rather have? And then Watson, obviously, is the last year he's going to be on your book. So, if he plays well, we'll see what happens. I don't know, I don't know if Watson will get. I don't know what the Browns are going to do. It sounds like Dylan Gabriel's kind of lost already. I got off on a tangent there. They spent a third-round pick on him. They're probably going to end up moving him for a pick later on in the draft this year, like a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th kind of thing is what will end up happening. All right, but I'd like the two offensive line additions by the Browns on this one. I think that those are a step in the right direction. Also, they did lose, though, on the defense. Devin Bush, their linebacker, he went to the Bears today. And also Cameron Thomas, defensive end. He signed with the Falcons for 1 year, $3.1 million. And he had 2.5 sacks last year for the Browns. But so they lost a linebacker to DE. Thomas is not a tremendous loss, but they should be able to make up for all of that. And what I really want to see, though, is what kind of moves they make regarding playmakers on the offense. I like the Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. I like that a lot. Receivers, not so much. If you look at the numbers from last year, Harold Fannin led him in receptions with 72. I'm sorry, Harold Fannin Jr. Jerry Jeudy had 50 catches. Isaiah Bond had 18 in 16 games. Njoku had 33. Sampson had 33. Tillman had 21. It's like there's no real stud out there. Jeudy did that playing 17 games. Now, look, I'm not putting that on Jerry Jeudy necessarily because he had at best mediocre quarterback play throwing him the ball with a bad offensive line, forcing the quarterback to get rid of the ball quickly. Quarterbacks, I know they're 2 Pro Bowlers with Flacco and Shedeur Sanders, but they were rushed in that, and I can't really blame that on Jeudy. But if they're making these upgrades on the offensive line, I would like to see him go out and add another wide receiver, playmaker, guy who can make big plays for them. And I don't know which player that is. I saw the Steelers made their trade for Michael Pittman. That was never going to happen on a team like the Browns. But if the Browns can find somebody, and unfortunately it's going to be probably a bargain bin kind of thing. Somebody gets passed on. Somebody maybe had a great year a few years ago, hasn't done much since then, or somebody coming off an injury. That may be where they're looking. But having 2 first-round picks this year does certainly help out in the NFL draft. At 6, they could get Carnell Tate, which means you don't really necessarily sign a receiver in the free agents period. So with all the picks they've got, like I said, 2 first-round picks, their own and Jacksonville's, the Browns may just play it coy for a lot of this free agent period. Like I say, it's the legal tampering period right now. But at some point, though, if this team wants to compete in the AFC North, look, they're going to have to be able to score more points. And the Ravens have added Max Crosby, upgrade for them. It's much tougher now for the Browns to win this division. The Steelers made some upgrades as well. Steelers better than the Browns last year. I know the Browns have made changes with the coaching staff and everything. Monken's going to be there. And so that's all. That's great for the Browns as far as what's going to happen hopefully this year for them. But it's going to take a lot for them to be competitive in the AFC North. I don't know if they can be this year, regardless of what they do in free agency and draft-wise. I think it's going to be tough for the Browns to compete this year in the AFC North. All right, folks, that's it for me, Jeff Thitoff. Tito, @ThatHappens on Twitter. Make sure you check me out, folks. Hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about here with the Browns coming up very soon. If they make a splash in free agency, we'll report that on here. This has been the Browns Daily Blitz.